Tomodachi Collection released on the DS in Japan in 2009 and was a surprisingly huge seller for the lack of countries that had their hands on the game, so it was natural that it would get a sequel in 2014, released to pretty much everywhere. Tomodachi Life on the 3DS was one of the surprise hitters for that system, and the rest is history. People have been begging for a sequel to Life since release, and now we finally have it in the form of Living the Dream. A sequel that aims to make the series bigger and better than ever. But the real question is it the game we've been waiting for? Let's go over some facts and some things that I just really want to see in the game. Also, I'll be referring to Tomodachi Life as the original game from now on, since I never had the chance to play Tomodachi Collection. We know that Tomodachi Life Living the Dream is set for a spring 2026 release. Although the newsman had me fooled, I fully believed he was going to say, it's 2025 now! But anyways, from what we've seen so far in the trailers, it's safe to say things look quite different. Separate houses, a few new shops, everyone roaming around outside, interacting with lampposts. So I guess the question on all of our minds is, how different will it be? And will it stay true to the Tomodachi Life we already know and love so much? Well, to start, we still don't know who the game is actually being developed by. However, through speculation and process of elimination, we can make an educated guess. The original team behind Tomodachi Life, SPD1, actually no longer exist, and that was merged into EPD7, who are behind a lot of games, but most notably in this case, Rhythm Heaven. In the same direct that Tomodachi Life Living the Dream was announced, they also announced a new Rhythm Heaven game, and because EPD7 appears to be focused on Rhythm Heaven as the game's main developers, it's likely they aren't directly involved in the creation and development of Living the Dream. Then we had Miitopia. The original 3DS version was made by EPD4 and released in 2017. Roughly 4 years later, we had the remastered Switch version made by xoxo, who are also known for working on Zelda games, such as the remake of Link's Awakening, great game by the way, one of my favourites, I love a side quest, and an original top-down Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom, that released in September of last year. Because of that release still being so recent, it seems feasible that xoxo are also not the ones currently working on Tomodachi Living the Dream. So that just leaves us to return to the original Miitopia creators, EPD4. In recent years, they've handled more experimental projects such as Nintendo Switch Sports, Ring Fit Adventure, and 1-2 Switch. Tomodachi Life was already quite an experimental game within itself, with Miitopia being the closest thing to it. And after viewing the more recent trailers of Living the Dream, there's a few things that definitely seem very Miitopia inspired. And seeing as EPD4 have already worked to bring a Mii-focused game to the Switch with xoxo, it's reasonable to think that EPD4 will be the ones behind this new Tomodachi Life game. Something that sticks out to me the most as Miitopia inspired is the relationship gauge we see in the newest trailer. You can also force Miis into meeting up in an attempt to get them to level up, just like throwing them into the same room at the inn. Leveling up Miis would trigger a screen showing the level and the closeness of the pair, as well as sometimes giving you a new helpful skill to use in battle. As we know, there are no battles in Tomodachi Life, unless you include throwing PNGs at each other whenever they fall out. Why would this carry over into Living the Dream? Well, from what we can see, the screens that pop up are significantly similar, but not exactly the same. The biggest difference being that both Miis have a separate thought bubble above their heads. This shows they could potentially think differently of each other. One Mii might think they're becoming friends, while the other thinks that Mii sucks. After all, beef between Miis is a part of the game's charm, even if it is one-sided. On the topic of relationships, one thing I know I'm really hopeful to return is marriage and starting families. This was obviously how you would officially complete the game in the original, and I honestly don't doubt that this will return in Living the Dream, as it was almost a goal for most people and made the game even more exciting. The more specific thing I'm really hoping we see in Living the Dream though, is same-sex relationships and marriage. I'm sick of making male Miis female just so they can be with another man, and vice versa for the girlies. Nintendo did say that if they ever made another Tomodachi Life game, that they would strive to create a more inclusive game which better represents all players. So let's just hope that Living the Dream will be a huge win for the girls, gays and theys, okay? Customization could also go way deeper. Miitopia gave us wigs, makeup, and tons of creative options. From what we've been shown, we already know a ton of more things have already been added, like different hair colours and styles, new facial features, and potentially even the chance to have an abnormal skin colour. You could create a Pikmin, in theory. You could be a Pikmin. If it just includes the same makeup and sticker features as Miitopia, it opens up even more possibilities, like making pets again. I need to have my little biscuit on my island, come on now. Now, where do these Miis live? In houses. Wait, not an apartment? It's speculated that those little windows on the top of the house might be where we peek inside to check on Miis, similar to how we used to look into the windows of the apartments. The windows are actually very similar to the ones I spy on my boyfriend through. The colours of the houses could correspond to the favourite colours we choose for the Miis, or it could be to do with the Mii's personality types. Both are interesting ideas, but it would also be cool to have the ability to decorate the exterior as well. And as for the handles on the roof, they could be there so we could move houses around and redesign the island to our taste. Even the quick build shop logo, that hand grabbing something, kind of hints at this level of customization. We can tell by the trailer that interior decor is still a thing, which is so super slay. There's even a K-pop idol inspired room. We've not even got the game yet, and this one looks like it's already training to seal the Hon Moon. Some people have also been wondering where the music hall is, or how there will be enough room for all the Miis they want to create. And I think it's likely the island wouldn't stay the same size forever. As you add more Miis and keep playing, new areas like the music hall unlock over time and the whole island will expand, presumably until you have 100 Miis, like in the 3DS Tomodachi Life. The original game itself had island expansions over and over until it looks as packed as a theme park in term time. It's safe to assume that this island is going to be really big by the end of the game. What's going to make the island even cooler as well as bigger? Let's talk about what's happening with the classic Mii rap battles. Imagine that they have now turned into dance battles, or maybe dance battles have just been added alongside them. Even if it's not battles and they just like to bust down whenever they feel like it. I'm here for that too. Maybe we'd even get to give them a breakdancing manual, just like the ballet one. It's an interesting little thing to add to the trailer, and I'm hoping that's the plan for it. I want to see my Mii doing pirouettes and the worm around the island. Aside from dancing and rapping, there was another way to get Miis to come to your island in the 3DS Tomodachi game. I'm talking about Street Pass. Street Pass on the 3DS was all about connecting with people just by crossing paths. They would take a boat trip to your island, give you a few cool gifts, sleep in their little tents, and off they popped on their merry travels. It was a really cute aspect of the game that so many people loved. But what if Nintendo took that idea and made it a living island experience? Mii's walking around, visiting and interacting just like villagers do in Animal Crossing. Something that would be an amazing addition to the game and would add an even bigger sense of community. Maybe some islands could even become little tourist attractions in the opening months after release. With a lot of the stuff I've talked about today and everything else that's already confirmed in the game, it's safe to say that yes, I do think that this game will be exactly what we've been hoping for. What do you hope for from the upcoming game? Let me know if I've missed something you really want to see or any cool ideas you've had. I'm honestly so excited for this game, and I know so many others are too. So let's hope and pray that it's another absolute banger from Nintendo.
Users.